Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm taking a look at the foretold mummy figure from the episode The Mummy on the Orient Express from Doctor Who Series 8. This is of course a 3.75 inch figure, so as you can see here, he is much tinier than say a 5-inch figure. This is a 5-inch figure, and this is the 3.75 inch figure. For detail though, he is very well done. You know, the main attraction I think visually for most people hopefully would be the exposed rib cage, where you know you've just got all this sort of flesh-like bit, which I think is phenomenally done considering how teeny tiny this figure is, and that compared to a lot of other figures. You've also got, you know, exposed bits for the hands, both hands, and then on the back you've got, you know, the exposed sort of back and shoulder blades, but for some reason these bits are grey. I don't know why that is, to be honest, but then you've got more sort of bits where there's flesh, like at the side, and where the spine should be. Going down to his butt, there is just, as I say, more grey and just more bandaging and that. And his feet are also, you know, exposed as well, which I think are really cool. You know, detail-wise, he is very good. You know, the face sculpt is nice. He's got very exposed, you know, face where there's where the eyes should be. There's just black sort of sockets with this sort of brownish wash over there, and then you've got these really tiny little teeth, little white teeth, which I don't know if you can see on camera, but yeah, yeah, I think visually it's a good representation of the mummy, the foretold from Mummy on the Orient Express. I just think the articulation is where it is let down, unfortunately. Articulation is full 360 head, like a ball joint there, so you can kind of look up and down and stuff. There's no 90-degree arm, so you can't make it go to the side like that. The hands do full 360, the arms do full 360 as well, and the legs can go in at the knee joint and swivel. Like, they can't actually go up like the leg. Like, what I mean by that is, for example, that's what happens when you try and move it up. It sort of pivots to the side and stuff, and I think that is because the crotch piece and the chest is all just one massive plastic mould, which I think is pretty stupid because it hinders the leg articulation and stuff. I do think, as I say, it's a good visual representation. It's just that considering that the 3.75 inch figures are aimed towards more towards kids than adult collectors or teens or whatnot, this is more aimed at a younger demographic. Considering that, I would have thought that this would have quite a few, you know, points of articulation, but then you could argue, you know, if it has more articulation, it's more likely to snap or break. But I think it's quite clearly going to snap and break, because most of the points, you know, the arms and the, you know, and the legs are very thin and not that, you know, well done in that sense. But then you could argue, you know, it's because it's trying to be fully representing, you know, the mummy, and last time I checked, mummies don't have very, you know, muscly bodies and whatnot, so you could argue that. But, you know, for the sake of kids not snapping it, I would have preferred much, you know, maybe stronger arms and legs maybe, and I just generally think with the 5-inch figures like Chris Eccleston, you can just get away with a lot more detail and a lot more sort of stuff, really. They look better, even if you know, there isn't as much intricate detail. Like the mummy from Pyramids of Mars, although that one doesn't have lots of exposed bits and lots of stuff like that, I think that looks better on the shelf because, you know, it's bigger and it just looks better, and that, whereas this is teeny tiny as well. So I don't know, I think from the figures, what I've got from Christmas that I've reviewed, and that includes For those of you who aren't aware, the Missy in the black costume, the curator, and this, I think this one is probably the lowest one out of the three of them, at a 6 out of 10. I think it's above average because of its amazing amount of detail, but I think the articulation really does let it down. But then again, it is only $6.99, so it's not like you're you sort of breaking the bank with buying this figure. Again, I think it's because it is primarily aimed at kids and kids who will be playing with the figure. But then again, why does it have so little articulation then as well? That's what I don't get. But nonetheless, it's a worthwhile purchase if you're a big fan of the episode, and that because it is a good representation of the mummy from Mummy on the Orient Express, or the Foretold. And yeah, I just think if you're looking for a figure with a lot more articulation, I think you might want to miss this one. But if, as I say, if you're a massive fan of the Foretold, then you might want to buy this one because it's not going to break the bank. It's a well-earned 6 out of 10. I think it's, as I say, above average because of the amount of detail. I think if the detail was also as low and as not good quality as the articulation, I would give it a much lower score, like maybe a 3 or a 4. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate and subscribe, and if you have this figure, please do tell me in the comment section what you think of it, and send me a link to your reviews and stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye.